Day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh. It didn't just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry.
That it did.
In 2001, we introduced the first iPod. And it didn't just
Also clap.
it didn't just change
Delayed.
the way we all listen to music. It changed the entire music industry.
Fair.
Well, today we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class.
No.
The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator.
This is my favorite part of any Apple
An
keynote
iPod.
ever.
A phone. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices.
What?
This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And here it is.
Go.
No,
Back when they were funny. Or not just trying to
actually,
be
here it
funny.
is, but we're going to leave it there for now. So, before we get into it, let me talk about a category of things. The most advanced phones are called smartphones, so they say. And they typically combine a phone plus some email capability, plus they say it's the internet, sort of the baby internet, in the one device. And they all have these plastic little keyboards on them. And the problem is,
I love how offensive he
that
is in his
they're
keynote
not so
to
smart,
like every
and
other
they're
phone
not so
ever.
easy to use. So if you kind of make a Business School 101 graph of the smart axis and the easy to use axis, phones, regular cell phones are kind of right there. They're not so smart, and they're not so easy to use. But smartphones are definitely a little smarter, but they actually are harder to use. They're really complicated. Just for the basic stuff, people have a hard time figuring out how to use them. Well, we don't want to do either one of these things. What we want to do is make a leapfrog product that is way smarter than any mobile device has ever been and super easy to use. This is what iPhone is. Okay?
Not that they're big noting themselves or anything.
So, we're going to reinvent the phone.
Just
Now,
love
we're going to start
it. Yeah. Stay hydrated, folks.
with a revolutionary user interface. Is the result of years of research and development. And, of course, it's an interplay of hardware and software. Now, why do we need a revolutionary user interface? I mean, here's 4 smartphones, right? Motorola Q, the BlackBerry, Palm Treo, Nokia E62, the usual suspects. And what's wrong with their user interfaces? Well, the problem
I
with them
owned a
is
Palm
really
Treo
sort of in the
and a
bottom
Nokia
40 here.
E62 at
It's
various
this
times.
stuff
What was your
right here.
first smartphone? Let us know
They all
in the
have
chat.
these
Your
keyboards
first ever
that are there whether you
smartphone.
need them or not to be there. And they all have these control buttons that are fixed in plastic and are the same for every application. Well, every application wants a slightly different user interface, a slightly optimized set of buttons just for it. And what happens if you think of a great idea 6 months from now? You can't run around and add a button to these things. They're already shipped. So what do? It doesn't work because the buttons and the controls can't change. They can't change for each application, and they can't change down the road if you think of another great idea you want to add to this product. Well, how do you solve this? It turns out we have solved it. We solved it in computers 20 years ago. We solved it with a bitmap screen that could display anything we want, put any user interface up. And
Windows
a pointing
Mobile
device.
for the win.
We solved it with the mouse, right? We solved this problem. So how are we going to take this to a mobile device? Well, what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. A giant screen.
Giant 3.5-inch
Now,
screen.
how are we going to communicate this? We don't want to carry around a mouse, right? So what are we going to do? Oh, a stylus, right? We're going to use a stylus. No.
What?
No. Who wants a stylus? You have to get them and put them away, and you lose them. Yuck. Nobody wants a stylus. So let's not use a stylus. We're going to use the best pointing device in the world. We're going to use a pointing device that we're all born with. We're born with 10 of them. We're going to use our fingers. We're going to touch this with our fingers. And we have invented a new technology called multi-touch, which is phenomenal. It works like magic.
This was actually a giant
You
deal.
don't need a stylus.
No other touch screen could you
It's
touch in
far
2
more
places at
accurate
once.
than any
Sounds
touch
ridiculous
display
now,
that's
but
ever been shipped.
was the case.
It ignores unintended touches. It's super smart. You can do multi-finger gestures on it. And boy, have we patented it. So,
See, they were funny, self-deprecating.
we've been very lucky to have brought a few revolutionary user interfaces to the market in our time. First was the mouse. The second was the click wheel. And now we're going to bring multi-touch to the market. And each of these revolutionary user interfaces has made possible
Right?
a revolutionary
I know.
product.
Finger,
Mac,
the least precise
the
pointing
iPod,
device
and
in the
now
world.
The iPhone. So, a revolutionary user interface. We're going to build on top of that
Nokia, old
with
school
software.
represent.
Now, software on mobile phones is like, it's like baby software.
Still got one of those.
It's not so powerful. And today, we're going to show you a software breakthrough. Software that's at
The
least
communicator.
5 years ahead of what's on any other
Sorry,
phone.
Steve, but yeah, the
And how
Nokia
do we do
9000
this? Well, we
communicator, I
start
coveted one of those like
strong
nobody's
foundation.
business. That was like the flippy one with the big
iPhone runs
sideways and the
OS
big...
10.
Yeah, that was cool.
Now, why
An iOS device running macOS.
such a sophisticated
That's an
operating
interesting
system on a
twist.
mobile
If only
device?
something
Well,
similar would
because
happen in
it's got everything
2020.
we need. It's got multitasking. It's got the best networking. It already knows how to power manage. We've been doing this on mobile computers for years. It's got awesome security. And to write apps, it's got everything from Cocoa and the graphics, and it's got core animation built in, and it's got the audio and video that OS X is famous for. It's got all the stuff we want, and it's built right in to iPhone. And that has let us create desktop-class applications and networking.
This is all sounding so very
Not
familiar.
the crippled stuff that you find on most phones. This is real desktop-class applications. Now, you know, one of the pioneers of our industry, Alan Kay, has had a lot of great quotes throughout the years. And I ran across one of them recently that explains how we look at this, explains why we go about doing things the way we do, because we love software. And here's the quote: people who are really serious about software should make their own hardware. You know, Alan said this 30 years ago, and this is how we feel about it. And so we're bringing breakthrough software to a mobile device for the first time. It's 5 years ahead of anything on any other phone. The second thing we're doing is we're learning from the iPod, syncing with iTunes. You know, we're going to ship our 100 millionth iPod this year, and that's tens of millions of people that know how to sync these devices with their PCs or Mac and sync all of their media right onto their iPod, right? So you just drop your iPod in, and it automatically syncs. You're going to do the same thing with iPhone. It automatically syncs to your PC or Mac right through iTunes. And iTunes is going to sync all your media onto your iPhone, your music, your audiobooks, podcasts, movies, TV shows, music videos, but it also syncs a ton of data. Your contacts, your calendars, and your photos, which you can get on your iPod today, your notes.
Very cool, my friend.
Bookmarks,
I always
your
like to
web
know how
browser,
people found their way into the
email
community.
accounts,
Welcome
your
aboard.
email setup, all that stuff can be moved over to iPhone completely automatically. It's really nice. And we do it through iTunes. Again, you go to iTunes and you set it up, just like you'd set up an iPod or an Apple TV. And you set up what you want synced to your iPhone. And it's just like an iPod. Charge and sync. So sync with iTunes. Third thing I want to talk about a little is design. We've designed something wonderful for your hand. Ooh, just wonderful.
Wonderful.
And this is what it looks like. It's got a 3.5-inch screen on it. It's really big. And
I love
it's the
that.
highest resolution
3.5,
screen
really
we've
big.
ever shipped. It's
Easy
160
to laugh,
pixels
but
per inch.
160 pixels per inch
Highest
and
we've ever
3.5
shipped.
inch
It's
was
gorgeous.
actually
And on the
massive
front,
compared to a lot of
there's
things.
only one button down there. We call it the home button. It takes you home from wherever you are. And that's
And
it.
we'll get rid of that button as soon as
Take a
I
look at the
possibly
side.
can.
It's really thin. It's thinner than any smartphone out there at 11.6 millimeters. Thinner than the Q, thinner than the Blackjack, thinner than all of them. It's really nice. And we got some controls on the side. We got a little switch for ring and silent. We've got a volume up and down control. Let's look at the back. On the back, the biggest thing of note is we got a 2-megapixel camera built right
Mine's
in.
actually a 3G. Don't actually have the one.
The other side, and we're back on the front. So let's take a look at the top now. We've got a headset jack, 3.5 millimeter. All your iPod headphones fit right in. We've got a little tray for your SIM card. And we've got one switch for sleep and wake. Just push it to go to sleep, push it to wake up. Let's take a look at the bottom. We've got a speaker, we've got a microphone, and we've got our 30-pin iPod connector. So that's the bottom. Now, we've also got some stuff you can't see. We've got 3 really advanced sensors built into this phone. The first one is a proximity sensor. It senses when physical objects get close. So when you bring iPhone up to your ear to take a phone call, it turns off the display and it turns off the touch sensor instantly. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, 1, to save battery, but 2, so you don't get spurious inputs from your face into the touchscreen. Just automatically turns
I
them on.
still manage to always get
So it's
stuff
got a
with my
proximity
face on the
sensor
touchscreen.
built in.
I don't know.
It's got
My
an ambient
sensor
light
must have been
sensor as
broken
well.
back in the day.
We sense the ambient lighting conditions and adjust the brightness of the display to match the ambient lighting conditions. Again,
Sure
better
is.
user experience, saves power. And the third thing we've got is an accelerometer, so that we can tell when you switch from portrait to landscape. It's pretty cool. I'll show it to you in a minute. So 3 advanced sensors built in. So let's go ahead and turn it on.
Volume will go next. You'll just have to go
This is the
louder.
size of it. It fits beautifully in the palm of your hand.
I must admit, nothing
So,
has fit
an
in my
iPod,
hand quite like the old
phone,
generations.
And an internet communicator. Let's start with the iPod. You can touch your music.
Too
You
big,
can just
too
touch your
big.
music. It's so cool. You got a widescreen video. You can find your music even faster. Gorgeous album art on this display. Built-in speaker, and why not? Cover flow. First time ever on an iPod. And so rather than talk about this some more, let me show it to you.
Yeah, he'll show the slide to unlock, but yeah, I wish mine was working. I couldn't find a 30-pin adapter, but yeah. Welcome, by the way, while Steve
Alrighty.
gets his iPhone out. I hope you're doing
Now,
well. welcome to the show.
I've got some
Got a lot to get through today.
special iPhones up here. They've got a little special board in them, and so I can get some digital video out. And I got a little cord here which goes up to these projectors, and so I got some great images, and you get to see what it really looks like.
Oh, that U2 album.
So I've got a camera here so you can see what I'm doing with my finger for a few seconds.
Remind me to talk about that
Let me go ahead
a bit later. The great
Get
U2
my
album.
picture within picture up. I'm going to go ahead and just push the sleep wake button, and there we go, right
it
there.
is. Slide
And
to
to unlock the phone, I just take my finger and slide it across.
Yeah.
Right?
No
Wanna see that
security,
again?
no pin.
Go to sleep.
Just turn it on.
We wanted something that you couldn't do
slide
by
it
accident in your pocket, and just slide it across, boom. And this is the home screen of iPhone right here. And so if I want to get in the iPod, I just go down that lower right-hand corner and push this icon right here, and boom, I'm in the iPod. I want to get home, I push the home button right here, and I'm home. Back in the iPod, I'm back in the iPod. Now here I am, you can see 5 buttons across the bottom, playlists, artists, songs, videos, and more. I'm in artists right now. Well, how do I scroll through my list of
We deal with
artists?
spammers really
How do I do
quick.
this? I just take my finger and I scroll. That's it.
Now, yes, the applause is a bit sycophantic, but this was actually something that wasn't on anything. That bouncing, the rubber band bouncing,
If I want to pick
it
somebody,
just
let's say I want to
didn't
pick the
exist.
Beatles, I just tap them, and here's the Beatles songs with their albums right here. Want to play Sgt. Pepper's, I just hit Sgt. Pepper's right there, and a little help from my friends. Look at this gorgeous album artwork.
So while Steve plays some tunes, guess what? We can't listen to them because that's the way YouTube works. So I'm going to have to turn Steve down for a little bit, and you can watch him play with it. I'm sure you've used an iPhone, although as Jay was just saying, the cover flow that you get there back in the day, and he'll turn it around in a minute, and you'll see it sort of in landscape mode. So back when we got these, yeah, you'd play around with them. You'd go to your different albums, you'd play different tunes, and then if you wanted to go to cover flow, you just turned it sideways, and you could actually scroll and like flick through your albums, and it was delicious. So yeah, you'll see that in just a moment. But thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm having fun doing these little presentations of the old school Apple keynotes. So this is obviously 2007, Macworld 2007. Here he goes with the landscape mode. Yeah, there's that cover flow. If you've never, most people probably don't even know that because everyone's Spotifying and Apple Musicing and Google Playing these days. But that was cover flow where you could literally go through all your album artwork and you'd see an album art because this was all your CDs, remember? This was all the CDs that you'd ripped from your own collection, and you were scrolling through them, you'd be like, oh man, I haven't listened to the Black Album forever. And so you'd tap on that and then you'd play it, and it was super cool. So those were the days, my friends. Thanks for being here. That's okay. Feel free to move on. Langston, hello to you. Yes, cover flow. Missed that. Seriously missed that. You will have noticed there as well. We'll talk about a few things while we're doing the music section, just because we have to have the sound down. The other thing was that we had on the iPhone 1, we had no apps. So that's an interesting thing to think about. The App Store wasn't actually launched for another like year or two after this. This is 2007, and the App Store wasn't even around. So you couldn't download and install new apps. So what he's going to show you here was it. Now they were going to go down the track of web apps. So it was going to be you had to actually just use a web app in Safari, and then you'd paste a link. Jay, to know more about this, give us some more tips, because you probably had to, although you were jailbreaking early on, so I'm sure you had other ways to do it. But yeah, you had to actually do that. You had to legitimately go to a website, and then they thought web apps were going to be the big thing. They're like, no one's going to want to download a single standalone app for their phone. Boy, were they wrong. The App Store was released and it blew up. Also didn't have copy and paste, if you can believe that. So there was no copy and paste in this first version of the iPhone. This isn't the first version. This is the 3G. No copy and paste. And these were like, people lost their ever-loving mind. Because you imagine how, like, I use it all the time. You're copying from a web page and you're putting it in your notes. You're doing something else. We're now doing the video section. As you can see here, I'll just play this for just a minute.
So early in the morning.
Oh, kind of hard to explain. I don't.
So yeah, they were playing a clip from The Office there, and again, I can't show that, or can't play the audio of that one for YouTube copyright claim type reasons. But yeah, again, it was kind of revolutionary to have a screen like this. If you imagine your older smartphones had a screen like that, and if you wanted landscape mode, it was all landscape mode. So this was sort of the first portrait mode entire screen, and then yeah, you flipped it on its side, and you were able to watch movies and TV shows and all the rest going sideways. Let's see. Yep, Jay's got some additional stuff here. Yep, you had the Cydia, what is it? Cydia, app store for jailbreakers. Yes. No video camera. That's a good thing. No video camera, so you couldn't shoot video. This shot just single snap like photos of 2 megapixel. You probably heard him say before, 2 megapixel quality, and no front-facing camera. Would you believe the first, and we're watching some Pirates of the Caribbean here now, the first front-facing camera, iPhone 4. It took them 3 generations. There was no iPhone 2 because Apple, but it took them 3 generations to actually get a front-facing camera, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, so if you think about that now, how much we love to selfie, and how much we love to use things like Zoom and Skype and iMessage and FaceTime, none of that was even a thing. Because again, the back camera was just a 2 megapixel fixed focus still camera with, I think it had 2 times digital zoom that you could use the pinch there for. But yeah, that was it. All right, we're through the movie and music section, so let's go back to Steve.
So again, touch your music. Just scroll through your songs, scroll through your playlists. It's incredible. Widescreen video like
Yes,
you've
that
never
was the
seen on a
Office.
portable device, 160 pixels per inch. Gorgeous screen quality. Gorgeous album art.
We lived it though, with
And
a badge of honor.
It's the best iPod we've ever made. Again, some of the screenshots. It's unbelievable. Here's some album art I just put up so you can see what it looks like. Just no matter what you like, it looks pretty doggone gorgeous.
Doggone. No one uses doggone enough anymore. Doggone.
And of course,
Good. Yeah.
color
Woot. Nirvana.
flow and video with on-screen controls. You know,
He's waiting for
I
the
was
board.
showing this to
And they're
somebody.
like, okay, we'll do it.
I was giving a demo to somebody a little while ago who'd never seen this before inside Apple. And I finished the demo. I said, "What do you think?" They told me this. He said, "You had me at scrolling." So
It was a big
the
deal.
iPhone with the most amazing iPod ever, you can now touch your music. So that's the iPod. Now,
Again,
let's take a look
scrolling. Old
at a
things you had to go
revolutionary
page by page. You couldn't
wanna
actually
reinvent the
scroll.
phone.
It was weird.
Now, what's the killer app? The killer app is making
Yeah.
calls. It's amazing.
For the younger
It's
folks, we actually
amazing
made phone calls in
how hard it is
2007.
to
We would
make
put the
calls
phone up to our
without
ear
phone.
and
Most people
speak to other
actually
people.
dial
It
them
was
every
really
time.
weird.
Most people don't have very many numbers in their address book. They use their recents as their address book, right? How many of you do that? I bet more than a few. So we want to let you use contacts like never before. You can sync your iPhone with your PC or Mac and bring down all your contacts right into your phone. So you've got everybody's numbers with you at all times. We have something that's going to revolutionize voicemail today. We call it visual voicemail. Wouldn't it be great if you had 6 voicemails, if you didn't have to listen to 5 of them first before you wanted to listen to the 6th? Wouldn't that be great if you had random access voicemail? Well, we've got it. Just like email, you can go directly to the
Voicemail was
voicemails
like a
that
text
interest you.
message, but with audio.
Excellent audio quality. iPhone is a quad band GSM plus Edge phone. We've decided to go
yeah.
with the most popular
Everyone was-
international standard, which is GSM. We're on that bandwagon, headed on that roadmap, and plan to make 3G phones and all sorts of other amazing things in the future. So quad band GSM plus Edge, and of course we have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 2.0 EDR built in as well.
And that was a big thing because in the States there were 2 standards at the time, and this was the
So
lesser
this is what
popular. I
looks
think it was
like.
CDIA
Call.
that was the
This is what
bigger
it sounds
standard.
like. It's one of our ringtones you can pick, of course.
Classic.
So I want to show you 4 things. I want to show you the phone app, photos, got a calendar, and SMS messaging. The kind of things you would find on a typical phone, but in a very untypical way now. So let's go ahead and take a look.
That font. That's a 2007 font.
So let's go to our phone first. You see that icon in the lower left-hand corner, the phone? I just push it right here, and boom, I'm in the phone. And I've got 5 buttons across the bottom: favorites, recents, contacts, keypad, and voicemail. I'm in contacts right now again. How do I move around my contacts? I just scroll through them. And so let's say I want to make a call to Johnny Ive. I can just push here, and I see Johnny Ive's contacts with all his information, his 3 phone numbers, his email, whatever else, his address, whatever else I've got, it's all in one place. And if I want to call Johnny,
Very cool,
all I
Solrek.
do is push his phone number. I'll call his mobile number right now. And now we are calling Johnny here.
Johnny Ive, legendary designer for Apple, designer of
Hey,
iOS
Johnny, how
devices.
you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Well, it's been 2.5 years, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am to make the first public phone call with iPhone. I remember when we first started working on this, and it's just unbelievable. Whoa, whoa, what is this? I've got another call coming in. Johnny, can I put you on hold for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I put Johnny on hold, and hi, Phil.
Hey, Steve, I want you to be the first call.
Sorry, Phil. As you can see, it's put Johnny on hold, and Phil, I can just touch Johnny and bring Johnny back. Hey, Johnny, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, listen, Phil called. Do you mind if I conference him in?
I guess so.
You can see the button has changed to merge calls right there in the middle, so I just pushed that right here, and now I've created a conference call.
With all the feedback you could ask for. And again, this was actually kind of revolutionary. We didn't have the ease of use to do this. You could call conference, but not like this.
Johnny, you there?
I'm here.
Phil, you there?
I'm still hanging on.
So here we are. And listen, I got to get back to my keynote. So if I want to do that, what I just touch this arrow right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take Johnny private here, and put Phil on hold. Johnny, do you have anything to say on the first phone call?
It's not too shabby, is it?
It's
Not too shabby.
You take care,
.com.
Johnny.
I'll see you later.
And I end this call, and Phil's on hold. I take him off a hold. Phil, thanks very much. I got to get back to the keynote now.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. So, now I've also got a way to make a list of favorites here for my most often called numbers, so I can just touch it once and dial the number. And I might want to add somebody to favorites. So let's say I want to add Phil Schiller. I just push that plus button in the upper right-hand corner, right there, and up pop my favorites. And I can just go to the S's here, and there's Phil. So Phil Schiller right there. And I'll put, let's say I want to put Phil's work number. And it's added Phil right there. You can see the favorites. I can edit favorites by pushing the edit button in the upper left-hand corner. And I can move Phil up if I want to, maybe to the top. And let's say I'm not going to, Tony's changed his number. I got to update this anyway, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I could just remove Tony. Boom. There we go. It's that simple to edit these things. Very, very easy. I've got recents right here, which is all my recent phone calls. If I want to see the ones I've missed, which are in red, I can just go up and touch that button at the top, and boom, those are all the ones I've missed. And those are all the calls that I've placed or have gotten. If I want to dial the phone, if I'm real last century, I can push keypad here, and I can dial a call just with, oops, called 4, sorry, wrong number. 408 996 1010. And it formats the numbers. And if I want to, I can just keep dialing. Let's say it's a European number. And the numbers just keep getting smaller. Real simple. Very simple to dial with a keypad. Now let me show you visual voicemail. This is so cool. This is a collaboration that we've done, which I'll talk more about later. And it allows us to have random access voicemail. Go directly to the voicemails we want. So as an example, I come to my voicemail and I say, oh, there's one by Al Gore. I want to hear that one. I just push it.
Hi, David Dow. Wish I could be there today. I'm here in Nashville training people to give my slideshow. But I wanted to say congratulations on the iPhone. It is unbelievably cool. Good luck with the presentation. Call me later.
Now, if I want to call Al back right now, I can just push that call back button. But I want to listen to one from Tim Cook I've got here, so let me listen to Tim.
Hi, Steve. It's Tim. I've got the results from last quarter. Revenue was, I'll just wait and tell you when I see you in person. Good luck on the keynote. See you there.
Isn't this awesome?
They had so
And
much
so
genuine
I've got
fun back then.
voicemail,
Now it's all
how I
like
wanna listen
just,
to it,
I don't
when
know.
I
I know
wanna
this was
listen to it, in
manufactured,
any
but
order I
yeah,
wanna listen to it
it seems so
with
much more
visual voicemail.
passionate.
So that is a quick tour of the phone app. Now what I want to do is show you SMS texting. So I just go to that SMS icon in the upper left-hand corner and push it. And I not only have SMS texting, but I have multiple sessions. So I can be carrying on conversations with people, and every time I get a new message from them, I'll be alerted to that, and I can go check it out. So as an example here, I've got Eddie Q, and I've been carrying on a conversation with Eddie, and I just tap this, and here's the conversation I've been carrying on right here, right? And if there's a new message, it'll tell me. So there's a new message from Phil. And,
Again,
the
this
conversation
seems
was,
so
"Hey,
simple,
Steve,
but
hi.
it was
Still on
actually
for dinner tonight?"
next
Absolutely.
level
Your
kind of
turn to
stuff
pick. I
back in the
fixed it
day.
later on. How about 7 o'clock tonight? And I can just say, sounds great. And I've got this little keyboard, which is phenomenal. It does error prevention and correction. Not that I won't make some, I probably will. But it's actually really fast to type on. It's faster than all these little plastic keyboards on all these smartphones. So I can just say, sounds great. See you there. And I can send that. And there it is. Right? It's that simple.
Boop. Love that. Love that sound.
And when Phil messages me back, I'll be alerted, I'll see the dot, and I can just go pick up that conversation where it left off. If I want to send a message to Eddie or Scott, I just push this and send a message and go. It's so simple. So that's SMS messaging, and again, you've seen the keyboard. It's pretty awesome. We'll come back to that a little bit later. And the third app I want to show you as part of the phone package is photos. We have a 2-megapixel camera built in, as I said. We also have the coolest photo management app ever, certainly on a mobile device, but I think maybe ever. And so here's our photos. I'm going to go into our photo library, and this is our library. And again, I can just scroll through photos here with my finger. Pretty cool. Let me go to photo album. I'll pick Italy. And I just, let's start at the top. And to go through pictures, I just swipe them. I can just swipe through my photo library. Oh, there's one that's landscape. I can just turn my device and take a look at it. Pretty cool, huh? Boom. Right? So I can even swipe when I'm in landscape here. Isn't this awesome? The other thing I can do is I can take any of these pictures and I can make them bigger. And so let me go ahead and get the camera back up. Yeah, there it is right there. I can just take my fingers and we call it the pinch. I can bring them closer together or move them further apart to make it bigger or smaller. And so I can just move them further apart and stretch the image. That's cool. And move it around.
Again, that multi-touch was crazy next level. Like nothing had the ability to pinch to zoom. We take it for granted now, but nothing else had that.
Is I can pick to make this my wallpaper. And of course I could, jigger it around then and just set the wallpaper. And now, when if I'm back at home and I go to sleep,
Yep.
when I wake up from here on out, till I reset it, that's my wallpaper. Whenever I'm making a call, that's what I'm going to see. Boom. There we go. So photos, SMS, and the phone app. That is part of our phone package for iPhone. Get a call. Again, really great call management features. Just scroll through contacts with your finger. All the information at your fingertips here. Favorites, last century, visual voicemail, calendar,
Last century.
SMS texting, incredible photo app, the ability to just take any picture and make it your wallpaper. It's pretty unbelievable. And I think when you have a chance to get your hand on it, you'll agree, we have reinvented the phone.
That
Okay.
they did.
So, now let's take a look at an internet communications device. It's part of iPhone. So what's this all about? Well, we've got some real breakthroughs here. Start off with, we've got rich HTML email on iPhone. The first time, really rich email on a mobile device. And it works with any IMAP or POP email service. You got your favorite mail service?
Again,
it'll
this was
likely work.
revolutionary. I keep saying that.
And
But
it's rich text.
back in the day, BlackBerry, you had to have your own BlackBerry server. You couldn't
wanted
use
the
things
best
like
web
Yahoo
browser in the
Mail.
world
It wasn't
on a
even
phone,
Gmail
not a
back then.
baby
But
web
yeah,
browser or a WAP browser.
I think it said
a
baby
real
web browser.
And we picked the best one in the world, Safari. And we have Safari running on iPhone. It is the first fully usable HTML browser on a phone.
Which it was. That's fair.
Third, we have Google Maps. Maps, satellite images, directions, and traffic.
Got to remember,
This is
Google weren't making phones back
unbelievable.
then,
Wait till you
and
see it.
Apple weren't making maps. So
We have
yeah.
widgets, starting off with weather and stocks. And this communicates with the internet
And
over
they're back,
Edge and
13 years
Wi-Fi.
later.
And iPhone automatically detects Wi-Fi and switches seamlessly to it. You don't have to manage the network. It just does the right thing. Now, I want to take a second and talk about email. We hook up to almost any IMAP or POP3 mail service. I just want to give you some examples. IMAP, of course, is the best because you can keep your folders and all your email on the server and access it from anywhere. Yahoo Mail is IMAP. Microsoft Exchange has an IMAP option, and obviously .Mac Mail is IMAP as well. POP3, Google Gmail, AOL
Gmail
Mail,
did
and
exist.
most ISPs are POP3 email. Now I want to take a minute and highlight one, Yahoo Mail.
Because they paid
Yahoo
us.
Mail is the biggest mail service in the world. They have over 250 million users. Biggest email
So
service
strange
in
to
the world.
hear
And today,
Apple
we are announcing
doing
with
partnerships
Yahoo
with other
that they are going
big
to provide
companies.
free push IMAP email to all iPhone customers. So this isn't just IMAP email, it is push IMAP email. So when you get a message, it'll push it right out to the phone for you. Same as a BlackBerry. Free IMAP push email from Yahoo. So we think this is a pretty big deal. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you Mail, Safari, Google Maps, and widgets running on iPhone. So let's go see.
By the way, we have around 15 minutes
So let's
left
go
on
into
the
Mail.
Presentation, just in
Second
case
icon
you're
from the left
watching
on
the
the bottom there, I
clock.
just touch it with my finger, and boom, I'm there. And so I've got an inbox here, and this is, by the way, running live on Yahoo IMAP email. This stuff is coming off a Yahoo server somewhere up in the cloud. And so I can say, James Vincent here sent me an email. And he's a proud father. And there we go. And I can just scroll it here. I've got inline photos, rich text email. There we go. Let's look at another one. Phil Schiller. She loved the gift.
Different
Again,
strokes for different folks.
Inline photos.
Rock and roll.
Rich text. Pretty nice. Shopping list. Again, rich text right here. Pretty cool. Directions to Sushi Ron for tonight's dinner. Now, iPhone, of course, parses out phone numbers, and as you can see, there's a phone number in blue. I can just touch it, and boom, I'm going to call this place. Right? I don't really want to call them, so I'm going to end the call here.
Oh,
But
Steve,
you get
Frank
the
calls
idea.
a sushi restaurant.
And this last one, Ken Bereskin is one of our marketing folks. He just returned from Antarctica. Ken's a great photographer. And he took all these great photos of,
Not to correct Steve Jobs.
of penguins in Antarctica.
Arctica.
Really cool. Look at this. Isn't this great? Right in your email, right on your phone. And if I want to, by the way, I can look at my email with a split view, just like I do on my computer.
Yahoo
And so I
have a
can select
paid
something
service?
here and just look at it down here if
Sheesh.
I want to peruse my messages real fast and just find that one message I was looking for. But I actually like the full screen view. And of course, we have a standard inbox and drafts and sent, and and all sorts of folders you can put
Still
things
the
in
worst
as well.
email
so
experience
it's real email, just
13
like
years
you're
later.
used to on your computer, right here on your phone. It's extraordinary. And again, free IMAP email from Yahoo. Now, let me go ahead and just create an email message, show you what that's like. So again, when I don't need the keyboard, it's not
While
there.
Steve's showing you how to create an email, if you have any memories of 2007, please drop those in the chat here. When we get to the end, I'll tell you a few little history moments and a few notes, news and notes from 2007 to make us all feel old or very young, either way.
Dinner and, oops. See you tonight.
The pressure. Don't let that predictive text not work.
Boom. And I just sends that email, and we're done. So that is mail.
GarageBand only on
Full
iOS,
desktop class
iPhones, and
email
iPads.
running on a mobile device. All right, now I want to show you something incredible.
I want to see something incredible. Bring it on home, Steve. Come on.
I want to show you Safari running on a mobile device. So let's go to the web. And here we are. I'm going to load in, rather than apple.com here, a little more universal site. I'm going to load in the New York Times. It's kind of a slow site because it's got a lot of images, but here we are loading it. We're loading it over Wi-Fi right now. And rather than just give you a WAP version of the New York Times, rather than give you this wrapped version all around, we're showing you the whole
That
New
old
York
school,
Times website.
the little
and there it
TV
is.
YouTube icon.
And guess
was
what I can do?
gold.
I can
Loved it.
just put this into landscape mode, and there it is right there.
Look at that mobile optimized
And I can
site.
scroll here if I want. Scroll up and down here.
Because websites weren't optimized for touchscreens.
loading it in.
Because this was the first one.
There we go. Or I can just get back like this. Now, this is really great, and I can see the whole page, but of course I can't read it. It's a little too small.
2007.
So I can get in with my fingers and pinch it, but we have an optimization here. I can just double tap on anything, and it automatically fills up the screen with it. And I can just scroll around like this and scroll over here, and I can even make this text bigger if I want to. And there it is. And just double tap again to get back to the full page. Isn't this cool? And so I'm just, look at this. There is the New York Times. And again, any article I want, boom. There we go. Boom. Unbelievable. Now, you can look at multiple web pages as well. You can have multiple web pages open. So I just push this button in the lower right-hand corner, shrinks it down, and I can add a new page if I want. And I'll go to Amazon here out of my bookmarks. So let's go to Amazon. And I love to go to the DVD section of Amazon and see what DVDs are selling. I like it especially when Disney's are at the top. So here's Amazon coming in. Even before the whole page is loaded, I'm just going to double tap on this. And I'm going to say, let's go to the DVD section here. And now it's doing that.
DVD and VHS, the section was called. That is awesome. I'm sorry. I have slight nostalgic essence over this sort of stuff.
And here we are.
As you can probably tell.
And there's a section over here on the right-hand side, right there. And these are the top sellers, updated hourly. Oh, look. Al's An Inconvenient Truth is number 1. All right. And here's all the other movies.
I don't
Grey's
think Apple would
Anatomy,
ever
Pirates
align
of the
themselves that
Caribbean,
politically these
Fantastic.
days. I
And
think
so
that they
I've
want
got
everyone's
this right
money
here,
too
and I
much.
can go back to the New York Times if I want. No? Let's zoom up to that picture so we can all see it. And again, here. Isn't this cool? Just over there, go back to this one. I can get rid of them just by hitting the X. And there we go. Isn't that incredible? Safari.
Come on. Clap up Safari on a phone, even though I use Chrome now.
If you've ever used what's called a web browser on a mobile phone, you'll know how incredible this is. I hope you never really know, because it's bad out there today. And this is a revolution of the first order to really bring the real internet to your phone. Let me show you some about widgets here. Let's go to stocks right now, and we're going to load stock information off the web, and just right onto the phone here. Oh, look, Apple's up. That's great. Now I can look at different graphs here if I want to.
Nothing like a
And,
bit of self-congratulation.
That's fantastic. Let's look at the percentages here. Oh, good. Good, good. So I've got stocks right here, and I can go look at the weather. Let's see what it's like outside.
It's nothing.
49 degrees, but it's supposed to get to 61 today, so that's good. We'll just stay in here till it warms up. Now, I've got Paris right here. I can have as many of these as I want, so it's nighttime in Paris. It's actually warmer in Paris at night than it is here today. Wow. Aspen, well, no snow till later in the week. And Hawaii, oh, it's raining. That's not good. Well, anyway, here's 4 places: Hawaii, Aspen, Paris, and San Francisco. And again, the weather widget. Now, to conclude with the internet device section here, I want to show you something truly remarkable, which is Google Maps on iPhone. I hit our Maps application here.
We're going to use Google Maps until we invent our own, and then tell you not to use
and I'm going to
Google
go
Maps.
to Moscone West. That's where we are right now.
Anyone
And
use
here we
Apple
are.
Maps or Google
Boom.
Maps? I'm a Google Maps
That's where we are
guy,
now.
always
What I'm
have
going to
been.
do
So
is
even
I'm
on my
going to go
iDevice,
look for
Google Maps
something.
for the win.
I'm going to certainly want a cup of coffee afterwards, so I'm just going to look for Starbucks, right?
Hashtag not sponsored.
Starbucks. So I'm going to search for Starbucks, and sure enough, there's all the Starbucks. Now,
Now there'd be about 24.
I can get a
That'd be
list of
just every
Starbucks
corner.
here, so I can pick that one if I want.
Except Australia, where
And
we have
I can even go look
like,
at that
none.
Starbucks, and there it is, and let's give them a call.
Good morning, Starbucks Howard. How can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to order 4,000 lattes to go, please. No, just kidding. Wrong number. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I don't know why I find that so funny, but I do. It's the lamest old man dad joke, but I just love it.
I can zoom in by just, again, pinching if I want to, or I can just double-click to zoom in, and I get just higher and higher resolution versions of the map. So let's go somewhere else here that I've got bookmarked, and let's go to the Washington Monument. And so here is Washington, D.C., and I could just double-tap, and I'm going in a little further here, just double-tapping in. And there's the Washington Monument there, and I'll double-tap in again. And but now I want to show you something else. Satellite images.
Looks
So
like
I just hit
Google
this button
Maps
called
is definitely
Satellite
the
down
most
at the
popular
bottom,
one.
and it's going to replace the map with satellite images. There we go. And I can just double-tap in, and double-tap in again. And let's catching up to me here. There we go. And let's double-tap in again. This is the Washington Monument. There we go. Look at this. You see people down there.
People.
Whoops. There we go. Yep. Isn't that incredible? Right on my phone. It's unbelievable. So let's go. I've
I
got
was thinking
another
the same
one,
thing,
the
Scott. I
Eiffel
wonder if
Tower,
people are
which is
still
very
calling
cool.
that
I
Starbucks, or
set
if they had
this
to
one
change
down
their
to
number.
the,
Because
look at
nerds
this.
like
There's the
me
Eiffel
would
Tower.
just ring it for
There's
fun.
people at the Eiffel Tower you can see. Look at that.
What? People in the
Incredible.
world?
And
No.
here, just one last one. I have to show you the Colosseum in Rome. So again, here we are in Rome. Yeah, that's as far as we can go with the map, but we can go a little further with the satellite. There's the Colosseum. There's the Roman Colosseum. Satellite imagery right on the phone. Look at that. That's the Colosseum. Unbelievable. Right on our phone. What do you think? Isn't that
What
incredible?
do you think? What do you think? Want to clap again?
Go.
Yay! Oh, I'm kind of a
So,
nerd. In a
All
good
these
way.
amazing things.
In a
This
good
is
way.
a breakthrough internet communicator built right into iPhone. The first rich HTML email on a phone, the first real web browser on a phone, best version of Google Maps on the planet, widgets, and all with Edge and Wi-Fi networking. We're very, very happy with this.
No copy and paste, no
Again,
apps.
Email, push email, IMAP, free, Yahoo, and almost any other IMAP and pop mail service you want to hook up to. Incredible new technology for entering text, far better than we've seen on phones before. A real browser on the phone. We can see real web pages in portrait or landscape. We can zoom in on what we want to take a look at more closely. Google Maps and widgets. It's the internet in your pocket for the first time ever. Now, you can't really think about the internet, of course, without thinking about Google, right?
It's true.
And for Google, what
here
we
at
have
Apple,
on our
we
phone,
love
working
Google.
with them is, of course, Google Search. We have that built right into the browser. Just type what you want, hit Google, and you're off. And Google Maps. We've been working very closely with them to make this all happen. We're thrilled with the results. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Eric Schmidt, Google's CEO.
However, we won't be chatting to Dr. Eric Schmidt, Google's CEO, because that would take us a long way over the 1 hour mark, and we're already 50 minutes in. So yeah, we've just got a few minutes here to finish things off and to say our farewells. So yeah, I had a few pointers. I had a few points here about 2007, just to finish things off and to let you know some interesting fun facts. Have you ever noticed that the things that are called fun facts are never really that fun? But yeah, let's take a look at some facts. I'm just waiting for I'm stalling while I wait for my OneNote to actually catch up here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just grab it here on my phone. No, there it is. We're good. So yeah, let's just go through it. So my iPhones, this is actually my wife's iPhone 3G. This is the first iPhone that landed in our house. She had one before I did. I had the Nokia E72 at this time. Nice little QWERTY keyboard smartphone. I didn't embrace these for quite a while. My first iOS device was actually an iPod Touch. I had the iPod Classic, then the iPod Touch. But since then, I've owned the 4S, the 5S, the 6S Plus, the 8, and now the 10S. So I have indeed had 5 different iPhones. Let's talk about 2007. In February 2007, Tumblr started. So did anyone have a Tumblr? Yeah, I had a Tumblr. I think everyone had a Tumblr. It was a micro-blogging site. It was popular for about probably 10 years, and it's kind of fallen by the waysides. For those who those cricket fans like myself and Jade are probably the only ones here. But if you're watching on the replay, Australia won the World Cup over in the West Indies in March and April, the longest World Cup in history. It was a very strange one. I won't go into details because not many of you care. In June, the iPhone actually released. So the iPhone 1 actually was released. So this was January. People had to wait till June. Can you imagine all of the Apple fans just waiting and holding their breath for like 5 months while they waited for this thing to come out? Yeah. And you think the lineups and the craziness is crazy now? Yeah, you should have seen it. It didn't come out till November in other countries. So we had to wait even longer to get it in other places in the world. And the only other notable news from 2007, do you remember when years were slow news years? It was lovely. Yeah, not much happened. But the Big Bang Theory premiered in September of 2007. So speaking of nerd culture, as we were talking about in the chat, that was thought that was interesting. So yeah, so we've been through all the details of the very first iPhone 1. After that, obviously, they skipped 2 because they went straight to 3 for 3G, and then 4, 4S, 5, 5S, 6, 6S, 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12 is just around the corner. Last time I did, from 2004, I did a couple of the words that sort of gained popularity or were first used, apparently. The only 2 I could find that were interesting this time was netbook. Anyone have a netbook? Back in 2007, they were all the rage. They were these little 10-inch underpowered laptops that really were never good for anything. But we all had them, and they were kind of cool. And the other one is, and it's interesting that Sion is here right now, the other word was hashtag. So hashtag was kind of first used in 2007 because this was sort of the birth of things like Twitter and Facebook were just finding their feet, and hashtag was not even a word that we used. We didn't tag things with hashes. So now we have the hashtag, which is here. Yes, and of course, a little bit too tsunami because we're going through another one now. But the 2008 global financial crisis, the GFC. Yeah, you know me. So yeah, there was some interesting times ahead. So it's fun watching Steve go, yeah, look, Apple stock's going up. Look at this great looking stock market here in 2007. What could possibly go wrong? Alrighty. We are going to finish off there. I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. We are going to do 2 more of these. So we're doing the iPod and the iPad iPad. So we've already done GarageBand announcement. We've done the iPhone here today. This won the vote over on the community tab. I forget which one's next. I think it's iPad we're doing next week, and then we'll revisit the iPod. iPod's probably one of my favorites because that was Steve getting super excited about how revolutionary everything was way back then. Alrighty, we are going to finish up here. If you want more live video, head over to Jade Star's channel right now. She's about to do a series, continue her How to App series. She's looking at some vocal apps this week for GarageBand and iOS. So if you're rocking something a little more modern than the iPhone 3G and you want to learn how to do some vocals on your iOS device, jump over there and check out that one. Head to studiolivetoday.com for all the stuff that you want to know about me and about the channel and about how you can follow what's going on and catch up on the 1,000 plus videos all about mobile creating. And I'll see you on the next one. Hit like if you liked it. That's the other thing I usually say. Thanks everyone for being here, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.